Welcome. This is Crime Queen, and I am wanting to just dive into this and get on with the second part of this. With well, it's not just the second part, but my last video had stopped very abruptly because my timer is not very clear. So do forgive me if you have watched any of my videos where it seemed to not even say thank you very much, or do watch or subscribe or anything like that. So because I have just been going on, there's so much to really convey. Now, I had been on this black-white equation of entrapment. Now, if again you watch my videos, this is not a single matter, it's everybody's matter right now. And it is that I have discovered that now we have been tapped into the artificial intelligence have now been tapped into the very core of the human psyche. Basically, they have got enough information about human to capture all the information, well, capture the resources, the energy, like we see with Sophia. So we heard about, oh, was it two robots that began talking to each other? But Sophia is the one in the highlights, in the, if it were two robots, Sophia is the one that has been, again, she is really programmed to take the place of Mother Eve. She is being programmed to pivot our attention to be seen as the mother who can give us all our needs. Whereas in the same scriptures that we have been given that that tells us that the mother of waters, which is the waters in Genesis of chapter 2, meaning the waters is the language, which you can see that is what that the fascination has been with Sophia. It's that she can have a dialogue. Now it really is amazing that perhaps I'm very odd in my own perspective of this, but people are not reading into the fact that every time we are tapping on a phone or we are using certain devices, that it is the energy that cannot be seen but is being transferred. It's being transferred to maintaining that AI. One thing I notice, I do write, and I'm not the fastest on the keyboard. And so lately I also understand that I have seen the difference. Not that I'm only getting better, but there is something that when I focus, meaning there is a something, the tip of my finger, as round as it is, can actually depict the precise location between two tiny letters that you want to put a cursor between. Whereas the tip of your finger is covering that thing, but you are still able to do that. It means that it is finding a way to tap, or has found a way to tap through our focus, our minds, that it is sapping that amount of energy, and it is in direct relation or interaction with us. Then it is like, it is now as if the two sides of our brain have come together and form maybe the left or right, depending what you're writing, and the phone has become the other side of your brain. Hence, it's as if we are not nurturing our brain cells the way we are meant to be doing. We are not wanting to count anymore because we have calculators. Of course, we are using our brain to work out how to use those devices, you could say, to some extent. But how effective is that for, and when we do that, it's the data that is being collated that concerns me. Mother Eve is really beckoning us to understand that as the main goddess of creation, the source, the waters, that which has life, that which brings life, as we have seen from experiments, when the waters is treated with love and it's sung to and it is treated nicely, it forms a beautiful flower. We have seen the experiments, scientific experiments, which science, as I was reading sometime, as if they don't really want to acknowledge it because they can't understand how it works, because it would be that the person would pray over the water or would have music sang to the water, and so this is discounted, whereas this is really robust in letting us know that the memory of water from that story of Genesis, and perhaps even beyond, has this, not perhaps, it has beyond, because the man and the woman were from that other genocide or disaster that had happened. So there are 6 aspects of human within us. So in Genesis of chapter, perhaps it's still 1, where the Creator created man. And this was another text that really got me. Why would intelligent people be writing of a God, or a God who loves me would be writing and saying, oh, and he created he in his own image and likeness, and he created he him, he created male, female, and he them. What are you trying to tell me? Who are you talking to? What is the message here? And so these were the questions that I was asking. I wanted to know, because as I say, I want to grow and grow in wisdom. Because one of the things that I clinged onto was that seek wisdom. And when you find it, do whatever. I suppose you still have a choice to know what to do with it, because the people who are doing these artificial intelligence, they've got wisdom, trust me. But what they are doing with it is perhaps not what I would think is, not perhaps, it's not what I think is the wisest to do, whereas the word wisdom is interrelated here. Now, so basically, I am saying that I'm just getting my thoughts here with all of this notion here. Back to, so I heard it's the second part of the presentation that I was doing. So I will urge that you follow, or if you're interested in what I'm saying here, to look onto anything that has the topic, which I'm going to try and define this in, perhaps this would be like, it's hidden numbers in Genesis, and of course it is black-white entrapment, or equation of entrapment, and I will have something like 1 or AB or something. I have been using AAs and so on, but because that just happened, and I think it's intuitively done too. So, but let's look at this is what I'm saying. Let's look at this motion here. So I'm saying there are 3 eyes. As I say, this is how the AI came about, because I felt like foremost that when the L that Mother Eve would have used, that equals free, is absent from that word, it becomes back. And we have seen what happened with black on their backs, carrying loads. And that's not only black. There are lots of nations, but I'm just making a point here. And so we see how the back, because the back derives from the sack of the word sacrifice. So we see it also have the AC here. The AC. But the first section here on the template is right here. This is the sack. and we see that it falls in the L is here, which is number 3. We see the B, which is number 2. The B is the 13th number. So this here is the template. This is Mother Eve, and this is the template of sacrifice. So again, if you're new to this, do check out my templates to sacrifice to new templates to numerology, right? The sacrifice template. And so we see that in the absence of that is the back. So basically the 3 is the vibration, 3 is the magic number, 3 is the breast, 3 is the wine, 3 is the buttocks, 3 is the mouth, 3 is the flower. And just to show you the magic of 3, that's what I like. I heard someone told me that it is called a magic number, and I was doing all these thing and I didn't know. So we are talking about 3 as free, 3 as W, 3 as E, and 3 as M. So we have an 8-petal flower, which is the God. And that is what I really want to show people, that they are God. That's why when Christ said, don't you know you are gods? Don't you know you are gods? That's the message Christ was telling us. Okay. Then we have on the so we have seen how this 3 has been it's really how important it is for us to see the vibration and the magnitude of that which it can form. However, 8 is the number that really set things into motion. It is really that, as you can see, it is a flower, but it can take on other shapes. No wonder it is called the it is the symbol of infinity, number 8. Now, when we do the numerical value for here, the CK, again, we can see those who know about Calvin Klein, we can see and who perhaps which group is really supporting, or which ethnic background is really supporting those industries that take their logos after in those areas. The battery, for instance, which is the A, the AA, the 3 A's, but we can see, of course, we need to charge our batteries. But didn't they tap very well into this logo? It goes right into the heart. This is where we can now use our minds to say, well, if they can charge batteries on there, I can charge my whole body on there. But we need to know how to use this. Get that, understand it is not just A, it is also 3, because it has 3 strokes, and it also is 5 because it holds that 5 section, the 5 strokes like I showed here, 5 strokes. So 5 plus 3 we could say is 8. So it has in it 8 in it. Okay. Then we have the C, which is a very vital point for us to see, because it's as if the word, the letter C, was put in there, in the black, that you do not get blinded. That it's as if to say, see, open your eyes and see. But it is going, the C, however, is facing going to that K, which the K in itself is like saying, I think that is the point of more than or less than. It is saying less than, so it stops there. So that is another magical thing that has been done with the K. It is like that less than sign is there. So you can see where the sense of lack again derives from. So there you are looking, where can I go? Which way can I go? And then the L may be coming off, because the L is what the other people are hinging on as well. Or you may be lucky with the L and get out of that section of where that bonding happens. But I have shown, and I will show again, what happens when you get into that luck. It's like gambling. You think, okay, I have lost, I played my £5 and I've lost, I'm going back home. Now some people would say, okay, I am not going back home. It's like the prodigal son. That's another example, although there are different layers to that story. And so to say, okay, and I'm going to really toughen myself and say, you know, and really make it work. Okay. Now we can see, as I say, what the B is like. So it's basically the 13, but because it is in agreement, it's like it's difficult for it to break free. Hence the Freddie Mercury goes on, I want to break free. Okay. I hear you say, keep talking, don't laugh. It's okay. I'm being me here. But that was a song that I held on to for a while as well. And that's all I knew about the song. No more. Now, here we have the looking at things, because I want to balance this thing. We can go on here, but I want to strike the balance here. Now we see the W, which has the I'll do this on here actually. I just remember I got this hair. So this is where we had the yellow, and we have this here. So just to show you, I've gone through the motion of showing you the set. This is from the set God. We see the power of the L. I don't clearly remember where I got the I'll be back. That's where that came from. So we saw that I have just finished with that back, meaning the absence of L. And I was doing this to show what it's like when the L's are out. And then I remembered the annals. Oh, I've got to, excuse me. And then I remembered Arnold Schwarzenegger, who said, the name really sounds, anyway. It is just amazing how the synchronicities happen as well. And then he says, yeah, I'll be back. And everyone remembers that. Everyone remembers that. I'll be, meaning you will be the back. I'll be back. Okay. So, but being back there is that this is what we see. Again, the back, you can carry so much. You can carry so much on your back, especially when you get whipped. Okay, and I don't clearly remember the essence of the story, but I know it was a very tough one. I don't remember the name, what it was called. Probably Robot Cop or Cop Robot or something. I'm not quite sure. But I remember watching it, and it perhaps is my favorite of his movies. So that's what I'm talking about. We have seen how the lack. So I was talking about how what it's like to be lack, and of course when we see the two twos at the end, the 2 is that humble number. The 2 is the number that still coincides with where that B is in that column, that coincides with the 13 Christ and his 12 disciples. So we see that is what 2 represents in essence. Then we looked at the white. This is where we saw Sophia now has been designed specifically with that 1 and 1. We see the A is right there at the end, and going back to the S to mimic the serpent, to mimic the snake. So it's like saying they are ready to get into the core of the heart. The serpent, she is an S, so she is getting, not she, they are ready, getting ready. They are ready to get into the hearts of people if people do not wake up and smell what is happening with what is happening in their world. And so this is why I am doing these presentations, because I believe it is important we examine ways in keeping or maintaining the evolution of man. As we know, that man. Now, of course, we are, as I say, of the 6 gods. It's when I say the 9 gods, but we have the makeup of 6 species. This is why when you write the word 9, it equals 6, and this is also why it is said that 6 is the number of man. No one told me this before. So the 9 gods, N-I-N-E, and this is 5, 595. When we add these together, we have 10, 19, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's the game that is going on. Plus, when we do 11, 11 is 9. So you can see how the master numbers are being switched and played with. Now, just looking at the time. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. All right. I'm good. We're good. Good to go. Okay. So, now there are ups and downs to this. This is clearly the case in the color black because we have 23 and we have 32. Now, I have done this before, that when we do the number for high and low, which is yellow, we see the yellow is here, and low, so let's just use this low because we have it written down. So this is 369 here, low. The word low is 9 plus 5 is 23. 9, 10, no, it's 24. That's 9 plus 5, so that's low. Have I made a mistake on the other presentation? That's 24. There was a way that I did this and I saw that low, low, high and low. Let's look at that. Because I did high, or was it low? Okay, let's use this. This is Father Adam. This is that's us. Okay. Pen do right. LOW is 563. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it's 14. That's correct. It's 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. That is correct. I was looking at for 23. So it is correct. Low is 5, but it's not 23. And then we have the word high, which is the high 5. High 5 is directly 32. So you've seen low. So low, and then there's high, H-I-G-H. That's 8, 7, 9, 8. We could see the gods are on a high here at both ends. So that would be like 4 8s because I switched this here. So 4 8s are 32. So we are talking about 32. So when you see the number 32, it ought to put you on a high. So that's what it's about. That's when we learn the numbers, we can learn how to use them. And it's all about getting your internal pyramid that is here, your high 5. So in essence, this symbol alone is supposed to be able to represent your high 5. That alone should be sufficient to climb your ladder, to climb up that ladder and generate whatever is necessary to come out of that yelling that happens when you're feeling hit. Now, of course, feeling hit, as I say, and as I've said in other presentations, Sophia has been programmed, or people are hitting, and now it's the excitement. And even myself, I'm very careful of how many I don't really necessarily want to be talking about her much, but I'm feeling it's necessary to show both sides of the argument, because that is still energy that is being conveyed or transferred in that direction. So it's the amount of hits that that one can get. Now the people who are in this sense, of course, at the front line with that program, of course they come into that bracket, as we know. Now we cannot really, should not dress this down too much, because that's what it is. It is what it is. That is the white supremacy, the people with the money, making the decisions, making those who have a vast amount of money to be able to buy whoever they want and spit them, chew them and spit them out. So we can't really sort of pretend that they are not there, and that I should not say, well, yeah, they are there. They have programmed people, and they have called themselves we. There's no sync with calling with the BK here. With the BK, if you were to conceal yourself and have BK at the end here, BK, you would not be sounding that, you would still be like back or broke or bake or beak or something to that effect, things that you have not learned to see in a positive way. And perhaps in this sense you wouldn't, but there here we have the W here and E here, which falls under the new perspective section of the template, but it's like we here, and it's saying hit, because the W, and psychologists have taught us that in any word or speed reading you see the first and the last. If you hear a story, you probably hear the introduction of it and how it ended. You may not remember much of the middle part of it. And that is what has happened here. So they are in the we. When we say we, who are we talking about? Who is carrying the we here? And of course, who's carrying the lack here? Who's carrying the hit here? So these are questions that I think is very vital for us to address. So I have been looking at this as well, and looking at the twos, as I say, the humble twos. I call them the humble twos, but two is extremely powerful. But do people know how to use it apart from than when it is used to promote electrical devices on Friday the 13th? Or Black Friday, or what is black magic, which some might not even want to understand how they can use it to better themselves. So there we see that it is seen very poorly. Of course, in our society, in our materialistic world, we have seen 2 to be less than 5. Of course. 2 is less than 5. If someone was to give you £2, or the choice of £2 and £5, you'd say, well, I want the £5. Unless you were feeling so conditioned in the sense of being ashamed and embarrassed to say, I really want the £5, and say, oh, are you sure? Well, I'll have the £2, and you go home and you think, I really should have asked for the £5. Here as well, we know that if someone was given £8, they would prefer to have the 8, or it's considered more valuable than to have the 3. Because again, this is why we need to understand the vibration of the numbers. Because frequent, if you are an entrepreneur, or you are free in itself, as we have seen, is a magic number. So 3 has the 8-petal flower. So basically, you could use the 3 and still have the 8, because 3 would give you the 8-petal flower. But then you might just go for the 8, and which is what I think there's the Samsung 8 or something like that. They won't give you the 3, perhaps, because you have the 8. The 8 is already set. It is set because it equals the number, the word set. It equals the number set, or the word set, and it's 17, which equals God. 17 equals God. As it happens, it's my life path number. But when you get it as the 17, you probably can use the 7 and chop some things with it. But when you get the 8, you think, oh my, you have it, you turn it round, you just go round and round on it. Okay, so we are talking Now, I want you to notice this, and I have done that on my other presentations. So we are number 5. There's what we are. There's the head, your 2 arms, and your 2 legs. That's Mother Eve. That's Mother Eve. But what is required of us now is to come to a place, is to get to a place that we get rid of some of these some of the things that no longer serve us. Am I doing this correct? Okay, I'm not sure I'm doing this correct. Okay, but right, so it's like a 4-point star if there is such thing. So your 2 hands, your arms, and thank you. Your feet coming together as though it were Christ, so Mother Eve can embrace you here. So basically, now there are ways of showing this with the 2 upside down, which would also mean like 2 5s. So the 2 5s would come together. Excuse me. But that is the symbol of the sacrifice, which is what I am showing you. And it is where we need to get rid of what I call our Pluto, the dwarf planet that no longer wants to be recognized. Not the dwarf, that planet that no longer wants to be recognized. We have not recognized it as a planet, and now it is seeking our attention. We need to pay attention to accepting those things, those little things that we think are no good. It's like a diamond. Pluto is now saying, I am the diamond. I want to be polished like every other planet. I want to be recognized. I want you to know that I count. Even if I'm a dwarf, I count. I am human, or I am planet. Okay. Now, so I am not going, but what I want you to notice as well, why I do go on about this, is that this is how we have been conditioned here to try and focus. I don't even know if it's that if we count, or if we see ourselves significant, we need to be looking to going into that direction. Of course, we have been conditioned as such, because we were told and given the Bible that when you repent, seek Christ, which is number 5. We have to seek Christ, which is number 5. Jesus Christ is number 5. And there we are asked to seek Christ, and that means we need to get our B and our L together to get the W that you already have. Meaning W is already connected. There is a bond. There is the 3 that is already like the 8-petal flowers there. But there, as that B, you have to try and break loose because you were bonded anyway. You have to find a way to die. But this section here that I am talking about is applicable now. I am seeing this. It's applicable to everyone now. This is what everyone needs to be doing to get into the Pluto. We need to break free of that and to let go of the lack that we think we are getting there, and to not be in that position, or the hits that we think we will be getting, or we are getting, or we may feel we are getting. Try and use those hits to build the resources, to build our own internal pyramid. Because it's the 2 that have to come together, 1 plus 9, to form 10, to take us back into this section, which is what they already know, that 1 and 9 is important, meaning the A and I is important to add together to form 10, which is Mother Eve. Okay. Oh, I've got it. Yeah. To form 10. Oh, all right. Because in numerology now we are going with 1. So that cycle Mother Eve is preparing us or asking us to get prepared for, we are going back to this cycle here. So of course they are working well ahead, introducing Sophia with her eye. So basically she's not only, wow, I'm just seeing more and more. So basically she's not only got her eye there, she's got the AI in reverse. I wonder if people are seeing this thing. I really wonder if people are seeing this thing. I had a pen that really writes well, so where has it disappeared to? Okay. Wow. Wow. So the AI, and people are saying, oh, AI, not realizing that it is in the psyche, how deep the AI is right there. So it's ready to do the other cycle. It's going to do the other cycle. It's ready to do that cycle. Are we ready to do that cycle? That's why she's out there getting our attention instead of us paying attention to where we ought to be. I'm going to have to do another presentation on this. I really want to leave you with some form of optimism to realize that the A that you have in the middle of your heart, it's important that we connect with it, with the A that is in the middle of the earth, by grounding and listening to the message, what it is telling us. By listening, these A's, because there's A and there's R. Now the R has the very same numerical value as I, as AI. So don't be disheartened in that sense, because the R has the same numerical value. And in fact, it's the R, which is the beginning as well, that it has in it a very close relationship with as the 10, because 9, which R has the value of 9, and 9 is where, this is funny, I think my breath while I am talking is drying up the pens. That's what it is. So 9 is a close relationship with 1 and 0. Okay, I hope you get this. I hope you understand the significance of this. There is just so much more, and I just want to wrap up, as I say, because the these are the entries that the said God has set. That's where we were at. We are completing, we are in a 7th cycle, and this 7th cycle, this 7-year cycle is also here. We are getting to the point of where it is. This is what they are responding to. It is the let us make man 8th section that they are responding to, and you can see the number 8 is right there as well in Sophia. So the 8 is here, and the 8 is like, I also see it as the DNA strands, so you can, or like a chain, so you can see how that is formed as well. The 7 too is like I say, it's like a journey. It's indicating the journey. We see the number 6. There is where it is important that we understand that we are whole, and the whole, of course, the word whole equals 9. When we do the numerical value for 9, as I have shown, it equals 6. But what no one tells you is that you are a makeup of the 6 six species of being, and these six species of being, you can decide which of the six that you are listening to accordingly to where you want to be, the dream you have, what you are doing, where you want to be, and where you are going. So as I say, this is the Pluto as well. So Pluto, when we do the numerical value for Pluto, he is 3. So 3 in essence is that which we need. As I say, the vibration, it's like the mother has just given birth, or it's like us, a representation of birthing new things. In fact, the numerical value for birth is equals 3. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this interesting and insightful. And I've just got to say, it's also live. The word for live equals 3. So basically, Pluto is coming alive. Wow. Alive. So I'll just again repeat those few words that from the A, your A in the middle of the heart, we can use the Ra, and I think it still means we need to go back, because Mother Eve has asked us to go back. We should be counting back. That means our attention is being drawn back to the pyramid, and nothing happens by chance, because that's why now I have encountered this. So Ra and the Ram again, get the significance. It has the M in it, it has the W, it has the A in it, and it has the R in it. So these are words that we can use as very instrumental to helping us get to where we want to be. It has AM, what we use as time, and amid, and it has yam. I don't know if it means that we need to be eating yam now. Perhaps we do. It's a starchy food, and it's got a lot of iron and phosphate, I think. So perhaps it means that instead of it's probably helping to be grounded, because it is a food of the ground. Wow, that makes sense. Then we have pram. Now, pram, of course, we know there are prams that you push around, and prams, you go into the pram. So, you know what to do with that. We have dim. It probably means that there are times we're going to have to behave or be in a dim state that, of course, recollect our thoughts and just rest, which is how I think maybe that's a message for me. And drum. Now, drum is not drum, but drum. But again, I will go with the spirit of sound mind on that one. Okay, mead. And it has yard as well. So mead, I think something comes to me. It says that we should pay attention to the midday and midnight. We ought to pay attention to the mid of anything. Instead of that, like psychologists have served us the intelligence to let us know that we should look on the two ends. Now it is also saying to us, look in the middle, in the mid of something, like I have just done on this presentation. Now this is all intuitively done. Then it has the word dry. Of course, we probably are in a dry state, and of course, the pyramid, of course, it's on a dry ground. It looks pretty dry to me when anytime I see it, although, but dry has the numerical value, which I will do this again and with the numerical values, because those in themselves tells us a lot. So dry is D is 4, R is so 4 and 9 is 13, and 13 and 7 is 20. So dry is 20. So dry is foundation. So perhaps that is the thing I mean about the numerical value, because 20 is south, and 20 is is foundation, and it is rock. It's also rock. So there it is, something that is the message is telling us to look at, to perhaps really make use of the two. because that too, and ensure that we use it for the foundation and not be just going around anywhere. Make sure that we are linking, or who we link into, because when we have the twos at either ends, then it becomes 22, and 22 is a master number and a number of partnership. That brings us, and that too brings us back into that 13 number. So of course you have the privilege of sowing your seeds, so to speak, in the 13th section. So we have the privilege of bonding here again, but we need to be very mindful, because we see we have that A here again. Be very mindful of what agreements and who we are making our agreements with. So really, by right, we have A as black being only in this section. So we have B, L, A, C, K. So it's like we only have the movement of this section, and then we are asked to be in Christ, because you are given the Bible as well, and you can see the result of that. So we are asked to be in Christ, and then Christ is here. But if we do not learn how to make use of this properly with the 3 that is here, or break from that B, for instance, or use the power of the L that creates a 3, and see that vibration to bring us onto that developmental stage, which when we see this R and this M here, developmental stage, is like a pure state. It's like Mother Eve is ready. Mother Eve is right here, but she's ready to take us into that stage. She's ready. That's why she's saying we need to be counting back now. So basically, we need to get into that new. There is something that we need to get into that section here, so we can, she's ready to take us into that section. Really ready. And this is where we have, when we get into the new, because she is saying when, W-E-N, never mind the H, because she's there with the L, which is a lever to take you up there. You don't need the H. We are looking for the H. She says, don't worry about it. You have the L here. I can elevate you. I have the word. I am there. I elevate. I am